to meet the actual dudes behind Dude Perfect. They may seem too cool to be true, but their stunts are actually 100% real, earning them millions.
Out with its latest list of the highest paid YouTube stars, and this year a 6-year-old boy is on the list, raking in millions, the magazine says, by playing with toys.
6 a.m.
17-year-old mega vlogger Emma Chamberlain was a typical teen from the Bay Area when she took YouTube by storm just 2 years ago.
Right now, we are driving around the DMV.
And as it happens, Dan TDM, or Daniel Middleton, is the world's highest earning YouTuber this year after making more than £12 million in the last 12 months. He became successful by streaming videos of himself playing Pokemon and then Minecraft.
Growing up, I loved social media, watching my favorite influencers and creators like Jefferson Bethke, Rhett and Link, and Dude Perfect. It provided a spark of joy into an otherwise mundane day. These content creators were impacting millions of people. I saw so much value in that kind of influence. I wanted that, but at the same time, I was sure I wouldn't have that kind of influence anytime soon. Internet fame is attractive. Just ask the millions of kids who say it's their dream job to become internet famous. With the rise of platforms like TikTok, it allows the everyday person to become an overnight viral sensation. Every person and their mom is trying to create that perfect piece of content to land their dream life. Few actually achieve the fame and popularity that they crave, so they give up. But what are the chances that I could actually become internet famous?
Our generation is enamored with numbers, followers, likes, retweets, and shares. Thousands of studies have taken place analyzing the effects of social media on kids and teens. A common thread is that likes, shares, and comments that people receive or don't receive online are often tied to heightened anxiety and depression. It's become such a catastrophic problem that social media sites like Instagram have removed showing likes on posts in many countries. The comparison epidemic is very real online. It only takes a couple of taps on your phone to see if you're more popular than your friend. Social media can be a toxic place when all we care about are numbers. Because so many people approach social media in an effort to become internet famous, we've lost sight of real people. Each number on the screen is a real person with a real soul. Our calling as Christians is much grander than becoming internet famous or having 1 million followers. It's valuing each opportunity to impact one person, reach people, not numbers. For a long time, I just wanted to gain popularity, to feel like I was doing something important and receive validation, but something changed in me. I wanted to use the little influence I had for something greater. I wanted to help people find hope, peace, and forgiveness in Christ. Though my heroes inspire me in some ways, they've also left me discouraged. Could God really use me even without a massive internet following? Many of us believe a person with 80 followers on social media is a nobody. However, if that same person had frequent opportunities to speak in front of a crowd of 80 people, you would feel differently. Think about Jesus. He had 12 followers, 12 disciples, not 100, not 1,000, not 20,000, 12. Jesus wasn't interested in flashy numbers. He was interested in making disciples. We're desperately in need of this kind of mentality shift. As Jesus' disciples went out after his ascension, they continued on the path of making disciples. They shared what Jesus had accomplished in his life, death, and resurrection. They didn't need a guarantee of a crowd of thousands of people to show up. The apostles were focused on using their God-given influence where they were. This is a tremendous example for us. Each of us has been given influence by God that we must not waste.
For many of us, we think of our social media as insignificant at best, but this couldn't be more untrue. The average person has 150 followers. Now think about it for a second. Imagine you're in front of a crowd of 150 people, sharing what God is doing in your life with them. Do you think that's significant? I definitely do. The problem is that people minimize their influence subconsciously because of their insecurities. We claim no one is listening to absolve ourselves of the obligation to say something. But people are listening, and someone is filling that gap. And unfortunately, social media has become a place of spiritual decay rather than revival. People go onto social media looking for connections, but are often met with rejection. Instead of their faith being built up, they're lulled into a sense of apathy towards Jesus and Christianity. Those who have managed to find places of spiritual enrichment on social media have become professional Christian content consumers. They have become so obese with theological knowledge, and yet they don't work it off through sharing it. It's not that people aren't listening, it's that we have yet to use our voice on social media effectively.
1440, Johannes Gutenberg took the world by storm with his invention of the printing press. It transformed the way people communicated. Bibles were now able to be distributed to the common man. A second shift has taken place with the invention of the internet. Now, through the medium of social media, you can share a message with thousands of people in a split second. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, videos, blog posts, images, and captions are new tools that will aid us in our mission of making disciples.
Though through social media you can impact many people, we need to be careful to not get caught up in the world of numbers again. We use social media to reach people, not numbers.
Over the last year, something has occurred to me. We need to embrace a multiply mentality. You may ask, what is a multiply mentality? We reach people with our platform so that they can impact people with their platform. Think of the limbs of a tree. One branch can only produce so much fruit, but on a healthy tree, one stem shoots off into one more limb. The amount of fruit that can grow is exponential. Secured to Christ, you are a branch shooting out. When you use your social media influence effectively, you create more disciples, more tree offshoots producing more fruit. I am the vine, and you are the branches. Whoever abides in me, and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. John 15, verse 5.
The average person spends 180 minutes on social media. That means we have 180 minutes a day to reach people for Jesus. We know our calling, reach one soul, impact one life. We know our responsibility. God has gifted us each with social media influence, and it's our job to use it to the best of our ability. So what will be your response? I've heard people hear this message and yet deny they have any influence at all, and thus absolve themselves from any responsibility to use it for God's glory. I've also had people get super excited about this, and yet 2 weeks in, they feel like they haven't reached enough people and feel like failures.
If you want to steward your influence effectively, then you need a plan. You need a solid strategy on how we're going to do this. Sure, you could spend years of trial and error trying to see what works and what doesn't work and how to succeed in utilizing your platform. However, I think there's great wisdom in taking a step back and seeing what you can learn from those who have already been doing it. If we go onto the battlefield alone, we'll grow weak and we'll get discouraged, and as many do shortly after beginning, we'll leave the fight.
We need each other. That's why Redeem 180 exists. We help you use your social media platform for Jesus. Here at Redeem 180, our mission is very simple. Our mission is not to help you get famous. We're gonna help you make Jesus famous. This first film is just a jumping off point for so much more. I pray your heart is stirred with passion and excitement in using this fantastic opportunity you have on social media to be a witness for Him. Let's make Him famous.
Join our movement. Post a picture of yourself on social media and caption it with how God is working in your life right now. Use the hashtag Redeem180.